Hello, sixth graders. Welcome to sixth grade math, Volumes of Rectangular Prisms lesson. Pause while you write the lesson title in your math notebook. Pause again while you write today's lesson objective in your math notebook. Today's objective is I can find the volume of prisms with fractional edge lengths by using models and find the volume of prisms using formulas by completing practice problems with 100% accuracy in multiple attempts. The standard we'll be working on today is find the volume of a right rectangular prism with fractional edge lengths using unit cubes and or the traditional formulas. Let's take a look at the key idea. It says the volume of a rectangular prism. In words, the volume, V, of a rectangular prism is the product, that means we're multiplying, of the area of the base and the height of the prism. So algebra, it looks like capital V equals capital B. So that capital B means that it's the area of the base. So that's different than a lowercase b, which is just like the base of a triangle or the base of a rectangle. So uppercase B means it's an area. So volume equals capital B base, so area of the base times the height, or volume equals the length times the width times the height. This is generally the one that's easier for students to use, is length times width times height. Be sure that all of this makes it into your ISN. We're going to start with example 1A, finding volumes of rectangular prisms. So it says our job is to find the volume of each prism. We're going to start with A, and it shows us this one, which has a length of 7/8, a width of 1/2, and a height of 5/8. Now remember that if we were to turn this prism a different way, those values would be different, and it doesn't matter because we have the commutative property of multiplication. So we can multiply them in any order. It doesn't matter as long as we get all three. So step one is to write the formula. So do that in your notebook, write the formula. And step two, we're going to substitute in the volumes. So 7/8 times 1/2 times 5/8. And step three is we multiply. So 7 times 1 times 5 equals 35, and 8 times 2 times 8 equals 128. So step one was write the formula. Step two, substitute the values. Step three, multiply. So the volume for this rectangular prism is 35/128 cubic meters. Example 1B, we are finding the volume of another rectangular prism, and its dimensions are 3/2 of an inch by 3/2 of an inch by 3/2 of an inch. So we know that that's a cube because all of its dimensions are the same. So our first step is to write the formula. And our second step is to substitute in the values. So we're multiplying 3/2 times 3/2 times 3/2. And then our third step is to multiply. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, and 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then when we simplify that, it looks like 3 and 3/8. So the volume is 3 and 3/8 cubic inches. It looks like that 3 got cut off. So it's 3 and 3/8 cubic inches. Be sure you have that other 3 on there if you are screenshotting this into your notebook. Let's look at example 2. We're using the volume of a rectangular prism. So this is a real life example. 1 cubic foot of dirt weighs about 70 pounds. How many pounds of dirt can the dump truck haul when it is full? So we first have to find the volume of dirt that the dump truck can haul when it is full. So step 1 is we write the formula for volume, which is length times width times height. And then step 2 is we substitute in the values. So when we look at our picture over here, we've got 17 times 8 times 4 3/4. And then step 3 is we multiply, which gives us 646. But we are not done yet because that just tells us the volume of the dirt. It doesn't tell us how much it weighs. So the dump truck can haul 646 cubic feet of dirt when it is full. To find the weight of the dirt, we multiply by 70 pounds per cubic foot, which means we just multiply 646 by 70. The book kind of gives you the rationale for that here. And when we do that, we get 45,220 pounds. So 646 cubic feet of dirt weighs about 45,220 pounds. So our answer is that's about how many pounds of dirt that dump truck can haul when it is full. Let's take a look at example 3, finding a missing dimension of a rectangular prism. So it says, write and solve an equation to find the height of the computer tower. So if this were on a test, you would be asked to write and to solve the equation. So you would be being asked for two things, not just the solution, but also for the written equation. Now, this happens quite a bit where you are given the volume, but you're missing one of the dimensions. So it's important that you think back to how to solve for a variable when you are doing these problems. So your first step is to write the volume formula. Volume equals length times width times height. And your second step is to substitute the values that you have. So you have the volume. It tells you the volume. And you also have the length and you have the width. So you have 16 times 7 times h. So that's what it looks like when you substitute the values. And then you simplify as much as you can. So you have 1,792, your volume, equals 112 times the height, whatever that is. You don't know what the height is yet. You're going to. So you simplify. That's step 3. And then step 4 is you think back to how to solve for a variable, and you use the division property of equality, which means that since that 112 is multiplied by h, you need to divide both sides by 112 to get that h by itself. So 112 divided by 112 is 1. That's why I crossed that out. It cancels that out, which leaves you with an h on the left. And 1,792 divided by 112 is 16. It gives you a 16 on the left and an h on the right. So you are simplifying again. So step 4 is your division property of equality. Step 5 is simplifying it. So the height of the computer tower is 16 inches. Remember, in order for this lesson to be complete, you need to be sure that your notes in your ISN are complete, and you need to finish your Google form questions. You also need to review your lesson if you need to, and complete your Big Ideas math assignment in your Math Spiral notebook. Submit that when it is 100% correct and not before, and be sure you track your progress on your playlist.